Have you ever wondered how God can use imperfect people, people who lie, cheat, and manipulate, to fulfill his divine plan? The story of Jacob is one of the most dramatic, unexpected, and redemptive journeys in the Bible. How a man who spent his life grasping for blessings was finally broken and blessed by God, and how the flaws and failures of one man set the stage for the birth of a nation. It's a story of human cunning, divine intervention, and ultimate transformation. But God was setting a different plan in motion. From the moment he was born, clutching his brother's heel, Jacob's life was marked by struggles, struggle with his family, struggle with his conscience, and struggle with God himself. Then came Jacob, gripping his brother's heel as if trying to pull him back. His very name meant supplanter, one who takes by cunning. And that's exactly what he would do. Jacob was cooking stew, and Esau, driven by hunger, demanded a bowl. Jacob saw his chance. This is a story of how a deceiver became a chosen vessel. Years later, when Isaac was old and blind, he called for Esau to receive his blessing. Rebekah, remembering God's prophecy, conspired with Jacob to steal it. She dressed him in Esau's clothes, covered his smooth skin with goat hair, and sent him in with a meal to trick his father. "The days of mourning for my father are near," he vowed. "Then I will kill my brother." The story begins with Isaac and Rebekah, a couple who waited 20 long years for a child. In their culture, barrenness was seen as a curse, a sign of divine disfavor. He fell in love with Rachel and worked 7 years to marry her only, to wake up the next morning married to her older sister. Leah, on his journey back home, terrified of facing Esau, Jacob wrestled with a mysterious man until dawn. When the man saw he couldn't overpower Jacob, he touched his hip, wrenching it from its socket. Still, Jacob refused to let go. Laban had tricked him just as he had tricked his father. Jacob was quieter, staying close to the tents, favored by his mother. But when Isaac prayed, God answered, and Rebekah became pregnant with twins. Even in the womb, they fought. Distressed, she sought God, who told her, "2 nations are in your womb. The older shall serve the younger." This was a shocking reversal of tradition. In the ancient world, the firstborn son held all the rights, the birthright, the blessing, the leadership of the family. When the time came, the twins were born. First came Esau and Harry, a wild and rugged man. As the boys grew, their differences became clearer. Esau was a hunter, a man of the field, loved by Isaac for the wild game he brought home. When he stopped scheming and started clinging to God, maybe you've wondered if he could ever use someone like you. He saw his lost son Joseph again, alive and ruling Egypt, and on his deathbed, prophesied over his sons, shaping the future of a nation. One day Esau returned from the field starving, despised his inheritance, trading eternity for a moment's satisfaction. Or will you, like Jacob, hold on to God and refuse to let go until he blesses you? First, sell me your birthright. And if you want more deep dives into biblical characters and their life-changing lessons, don't forget to subscribe. Then, because God isn't finished writing your story yet, Esau, reckless and impulsive, swore away for a single meal, but Esau ran to him, embraced him, and wept. The grudge was gone. The broken bond was restored. The real deception was yet to come. Jacob's life proves that God doesn't choose the perfect, he chooses the willing. He takes our flaws, our failures, and our struggles, and he transforms them into something greater. Isaac, suspicious but deceived, blessed Jacob instead. May nations serve you. Be Lord over your brothers. When Esau discovered the betrayal, his rage was terrifying. Exile and transformation, fearing for his life, Jacob fled to his uncle Laban's house. But the deceiver was about to be deceived. Jacob would spend 20 years in Haran, cheated, manipulated, and struggling. Yet through it all, God was shaping him. Then came the night that changed everything. "I will not let you go unless you bless me." The man replied, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with men and have overcome." For the first time, Jacob wasn't stealing a blessing. He was given one. Reconciliation and legacy. The next day, Jacob limped toward his brother, unsure if he would meet death or mercy. Jacob's story didn't end there. He became the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. The lesson of Jacob. So, what does this mean for us? Jacob spent his life grasping for blessings, only to find that the greatest blessing came when he was broken. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you've wrestled with God. The answer is yes, because the God of Jacob is still the God of Israel, the God who redeems, restores, and rewrites our stories. So what's your next step? Will you keep striving in your own strength? If this story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it.